You're listening to Hotep-ish with your host, Dewan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Dr. Short's on the way. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right there. Keep waiting. I'm trying to connect. I'm having Skype issues with Dr. Short. Give me like 1 more minute, all right? What up, y'all? What up, y'all? We are here with Dr. Randy Short. We are here talking current events with Dr. Short. A lot going on. I had to go ahead and y'all see my thumbnail. I went ahead and changed it real quick because when I posted the video up on YouTube, over on Facebook, the thumbnail, Facebook was like, They was on it. They was like, this thumbnail might go against our community standards. Punk ass bastards. So yeah, I got the thumbnail up. I'm gonna change it up. I put something up on there because I don't want YouTube already done gave my ass a strike and kicked me out for a week. I can't without letting me really know why I got a goddamn strike. So
Okay.
I gotta play it safe. So I switched the thumbnail up. So anyway, here we have Dr. Randy Short. How you doing, Dr. Short?
Oh man, I'm like a brother with the white woman at maximum security.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in the news today, in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's so much.
Huh?
There's so much going on. It sure is.
And as people can see, I got this picture up. We want to get into it, but I want to get right into this thumbnail that I have up before I take it down and replace it with something else. Why do I have this thumbnail up? Oh well, for those of you who don't know, last week, it's not a new story. It originally came out in 2017, but in the last week or so, one of a biographer came out and basically said Obama, and Dr. Short been calling him. I call him Obama. Dr. Short called him you know what and
faggot.
Yeah, that's right. And Dr. Short's been on this, so I had to get Dr. Short's opinions of that whole situation, and like for those you don't know, a biographer came out and basically said Obama confessed, and he has letters that are now at Emory University. The letters are at Emory University,
Atlanta,
and they're saying that they're at Emory University. Their letters saying that he's dreamt about basically fucking in his whole goddamn life, but he couldn't because he, whatever. So for those of you who don't know, that's what we're about to talk about. I'm just setting it up in Dr. Short. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about that letter that was sent out, that was exposed. So I want to get Dr. Short's opinions on that letter, then we're going to keep moving on. How's it going, Dr. Short? Let us know. What's on your mind about that?
Well, in this minute, I feel like talking like the president. I want to say to you, everybody listen, it's my asshole's my business. Who goes in it, who comes out, it's my business. If I want to give everyone a passport to come in, I'm the one that's in charge of my body. I'm the one whose cheeks get parted, not yours. So I would really appreciate if people would kind of like mind their own business. However, if you're in the neighborhood around Calorama and you want to have a good time, and Michelle's out on a book tour, hit me up on Grindr. Yes, we can. Thank you. Okay, I had to get that out.
On Grindr. So, what do you think about? I know those letters originally came out a few years ago. Why it's recently resurfaced? What are some your thoughts on that whole situation, Dr. Short?
I think that they're about to break their tool. If this tool wasn't already broken. Look, they've used him. What they built Obama up for was to be a Judas goat to lead black people. And he's been a failure. Despite the stupid ass boomers and the Xers and, black folk wouldn't mind Hitler if he was in the White House if they thought he was black. Our lack of standards, lack of leadership, and everything else, in spite of all of that, the Madison Avenue propaganda machine never completely sold all of us on O'Faggot. And they need him, but he's useless to them. He failed in 2016 when he said, hey, this is my legacy. Now you guys need to take off your house slippers, turn out and vote, stop complaining. Right? And he talked to black folks like plantation slaves, and they stayed home. And Donald Trump won, and Hilary lost. He hasn't been that relevant since then. He hasn't. He hasn't been relevant since Trump won. And the only people clinging to him, of course, are stupid boule black folks who probably have AIDS. Hope you don't lose any followers. All the degenerate black people and the silly black folks. Well, he wasn't going to. I didn't expect him to do nothing. They weren't going to. And if he wasn't going to do anything, why the hell would you want him there? If you got
Right.
in bed with a prostitute, she was going to spread the eagle, give you nothing. Well, why would you get in bed with a prostitute? You're supposed to get something. Your vote is like a payment. You're supposed to get something out of it. So I hear some of the sorriest, pathetic Negroes. I hope they all get vaccinated 100 times so they'll drop dead and we won't ask why. I'm sick of these type of black folks who have the heads of their asses, as I said to my cousin's dad yesterday at my godmother's birthday party, that black folks have the heads of their asses and they refuse to look at things for what they are. For those people who still are on the Obama penis plantation, there's nothing that he can do wrong. But for those of us who are not on it, we can't wait. And white folks breaking their tools. They're trying to make new ones. They're trying to put this Ramaswamy. They've got Slamala. They're trying to find new people that they can punk black people through. Hakeem Jeffries, who's 100% for Israel and 0% for black people. They're looking for new people. It's not working. So they're speeding up by bringing all these illegals and other people in to replace us, even in our own neighborhoods, because they can't use us quite the same anymore. Black men have woken up, and the good news, I can't wait until they handcuff Trump. Not that I want Trump handcuffed. I can't wait until Trump gets locked up and they blame all of these dumb fuck, Skittles, pork chop feminist studs out here who are not on code with black people because I've been warning for years now it's going to happen. There's a certain type of black woman that's going to get her ass kicked, and I'm not trying to help them because they won't bandwidth. They're against black men. They're against the black unborn. They're against black women with children. They're against married black women. They're against God. And we're supposed to celebrate them being given jobs to be prosecutors to lock up black men. I couldn't care a damn about such people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Obama, he's no longer useful. In fact, they need to put Obama somewhere because he's the one who was present when this stuff in Ukraine started. It's his policy that's failing. The Ukrainian offensive is failing. They're not going to win. Obama's the one that set up this whole thing in Africa, taking out Gaddafi. Eventually, if this should become a shooting war in Africa, it's going to eventually be blamed on Obama. And thank God, in this one instance, to our dumb fuck scam Africanists. If you start getting folk killed in Africa, the dumbass Pan-Africanists are going to have to admit that Obama and black folks who support Obama have really been supporting the killing of black folks in Africa, supposedly our motherland we supposedly love. And yet, just because you have a bisexual mulatto who may not even be an American with that bogus-ass birth certificate, because he's brown, you can set up bases and kill people and destroy folks in Africa. This is what we've signed on for. And eventually, look, that little punk Blinken, they're trying to get Kenyans to go into Haiti because even Haiti, which Obama messed up by not letting them come in and help the people rebuild, he let Hilary and them steal $13 billion plus for Haitian reconstruction. They did what they could to shut Haiti off from the fuel given to them by Venezuela. All of Obama's jobs to hurt black people internationally, and then to mess over dishonorary white people, Slavs, aka Ukrainians. This is all failing. And at some point, someone's going to have to ask, when did American foreign policy get so goddamn stupid? Some honest people are going to start saying Barack Obama. I can't wait until they start doing it on CNN and MSNBC and watch all the little self-hating boule slave Negroes put their heads down because white folks talking about their punk-ass hero. I can't wait. I want to see y'all depressed and miserable. I'm going to laugh. And I can't wait because I'm telling you, when they put Trump on the cover of Time magazine, handcuffed, everybody white that's never had to obey the law, 100% of them, is going to get mad, and a whole bunch of them going to want to vote for him.
100%, right? You went over that real fast, but I want people to note he's not being literal, but he's making a point to people out there, the fallout from what's going to happen with him getting arrested. But go right ahead, brother.
And it's a fat black woman, probably single, that's killed all of her babies too. And then it's a black woman that looks like the Incredible Hulk in blackface, Letitia James, up in New York. She does look like Lou Ferrigno without the eyebrows. She does. We got all these mannish black women. You have this Douglas. A Douglas is an Asian mulatto. You have a Douglas judge who looks like Bernie Casey as a tranny, who's a judge here in D.C.
Letitia James. I have a picture of Letitia James up. She does, yeah.
She looks like Lou Ferrigno without. Yes, if you made her green and shit, you'd think the Hulk was having a remake.
Yeah. She got kicked out of church for trying to sleep with the pastor, but he turned her down because she was ugly. But go ahead.
And then the one that's down here in D.C., she's a Jamaican, and she looks like Bernie Casey with the jerry curl that's become a trend. I can't remember the hoe's name. The judge in D.C. Just look at the D.C. judge that's bothering Trump. And she's a Jamaican. All of these foreign tethers and people making life miserable. Yes, she does look like Bernie Casey with the jerry curl.
Yeah, I'm about to pull her. I'm about to put a picture up. She's the one going after Trump, right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here she is on screen right here. Yeah. She looks she looks a little bit like NBA Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. But go ahead.
And she also has a little bit of a Patrick Ewing in the forehead. But anyway, black women, I'm sorry, broads. Some of y'all, nobody can tell you and nobody can put their hands on you and this, that, and the other. I understand. But you know what? White men don't play by that. Already they're getting death threats and everything against these people. These people are serious. And by the way, these same type of hoes, they're against Second Amendment. They're against black folk having guns, and yet they're waging war on white people. So you're going to disarm and lock up all the black men, then we're supposed to help their dumb asses when they get us in a race war. Some stupid bitches, man.
And here's the reason why I want to make it clear to the people listening, because there's always people who don't come in a little late or they may not understand the angle we're coming from. Look, what's going on here is, yes, Trump is being indicted. Yes, today it was announced today that he had a $200,000 bond, and he was saying he's going to turn himself in on Thursday to post that bond. What the point Dr. Short is making, and we're going to get deeper into it, and we're going to get a little bit more disrespectful. Why not? It's funny. But the point he's making is they're putting these black women up as the face of the people prosecuting Trump. And we want people to think long-term what the fallout to that is going to be. And the fallout is very well likely to be some sort of physical retaliation by these people who all they've ever done their whole existence going back to the Caucasus Mountains is physically retaliate to anything that they see short. And now with the black women in particular, let's think about this. You have this black woman here. You got what's her name? Keisha. Well, that's Keisha. That's an old man. What's the lady in Atlanta? The judge in Atlanta, Fani Willis. She's the one that put charges on Trump and Giuliani RICO charges. So if you notice, the chess move being played by these white supremacists is, let's put black women as the face to Trump's indictment. And there's going to be a penalty to pay to that. Go ahead, Dr. Short.
In fact, we're going to see a tampon, Massengill, birth control pill, Planned Parenthood version of the O.J. Simpson trial that happened, what, almost 30 years ago. Black men have been catching hell ever since O.J. Simpson walked.
Very true. Very true.
Black women are about to find out what black men have been getting for close to 30 years. And maybe that's what's necessary for us to be unified. Because I see a lot of black women, you try to talk to them, and they're looking at you like you're an astronaut from Saturn and shit when you tell them what's going on. Because it's not happening to them. You know, black people used to see eye to eye. They didn't just have black men on the back of the bus, stupid-ass pork chop feminists. They put everybody black on the back of the bus. Rosa Parks wasn't a black dude sitting up front. Rosa Parks was a black woman sitting in the front of the black section. These stupid-ass feminists in our community have deceived black women so badly, they can't tell their clitoris from a carrot in a horse's mouth. and you're still black. Every other group of women are for the men in their group, except for our women, for about half. I don't know what's going on. And I'm for black women. I'm not for them being pork chops. I'm for black women. Black women and black men belong together. Even if they don't marry, we're a team. But we're tired of sisters acting like this team black woman. And the Democratic Party and other people push this garbage. I hate to say it. There's all this thing about, you know, women being smarter than men. Well, if you look at contemporary politics in the black community, his sisters never got out the first grade.
That's
to not be able to, not to see through this, how they're playing, how they're doing all this stuff. And I'm sorry, I don't care. In fact, I spent a significant amount of my time working for black female candidates because I believe in women's empowerment. You know what? Since the stuff I've been seeing, I don't do that no more. Because you put that broad in office and she'll start thinking, well, I'm with the white feminists. I'm not with black people. Like Cori Bush, the thing that looks like a pit bull, although she has fixed herself up. I know I was talking about her. At least she's improved her grooming, but not her politics. They're going to blame, and we did this on your show.
About 3 years ago. We talked about this about 2020.
Sisters, don't be the face of opposition to Trump. White people having a civil war. We are not in the position, and particularly with all these dumbass black women being the biggest opponents to guns. We're not in a position to go up against anybody. We're surrounded. Why jump in the middle of a hornet swarm and you don't have a beekeeper outfit on? Yeah, your pussy's that good. However, a lot of folks seem to forget the Germans gassed those people. Even after they got some coots, they still made them take a shower. Black men, the simps and the fagonists in us, who praise and blow up so much smoke up the women's asses they're the size of dirigibles, psychologically as well as physically, think just by having a cooch that you're exempt from reality.
Right.
It ain't true. It ain't true. And it's about to punch these broads in the face as they refuse people's Section 8 vouchers. They're putting illegals and everybody else and putting black women and kids in the street. And a lot of the people doing it are black Democratic mayors, like your no good Uncle Fester looking mayor there in Los Angeles that wants to give the cops that shoot black people a raise.
Right. And she's bringing in more police officers too.
You know who needs a raise? Her makeup artist. Because I know how hard that person works. Yeah, her makeup artist, her prosthetic surgeon. They need to triple his salary.
For those of you watching on YouTube, look at the screen. This is an article just released to go what Dr. Short is saying. This is an article released 4 days ago by Politico, talking about how the LAPD campaigned against Karen Bass. Now she wants to give them a raise. That's what he's talking about. So when I'm saying when y'all get mad, when y'all get mad that we call her Uncle Fester, this is what we talking about. Look at this picture right here. She was voted in. I didn't vote for her ass, but the people who voted in because she was the one. The other guy that was going, Rick Caruso, he was talking about doubling the size of the police, and she didn't say she wouldn't expand police, but she was more measured, knowing what the people wanted. Then the minute she got in office, she started. The first thing she said was she wants to give money to the police against the wishes of the LA voter, because LA voted to defund the police. And so now you see this creepy looking ass smile on her face. It looked like a mortician put on her makeup. And we supposed to sit here and be nice. I live in LA. I'm supposed to be nice because the person that got elected, or as my mayor, she got elected on false pretense. She got in office and did something else. Are we supposed to sit here and be respectful? Are we supposed to sit here and laugh and sit around and act like everything is cool? Are we supposed to sit here and act like are we supposed to sit here and just act like it didn't happen? Or are we we're not gonna physically do nothing to her. That's the hell no. We ain't violent like that. We ain't going to be. We're not in position to take money out of her pockets. We're not in position to sway voters against her overall. The only power that we have, especially after someone like her is elected, the only thing that we have is our rhetoric and our shit talk. So since that's all I got, that's all we gonna use.
That's right. And I'm gonna say this. Remember when the black people went up and asked for stuff, and she walked off laughing at them, and she had on the Godfather's pizza suit she had on?
Yes, I remember that.
She shops at Sims. They still have Sims in LA. It closed here in D.C. Sims were an educated consumer shops. She had on a suit that looked like she was one of those mafiosos from The Godfather when they lost the casinos in Havana. It blew my mind. I said, where'd she find that suit from like the 1950s, man? And it was white. You know, people don't wear all white suits. Women don't wear a man's business suit, all opaque white. But I think that was a symbol of white people. She's for them. That's what she had white on. Like the Klan wear white. Now, let's go back to Ofaga. They're getting rid of him. All of his legacy's falling apart. All of it. It's all out now that Obama and them conspired against Trump. And it's just a matter of time before his White House is found having corrupted the Department of Justice and everything else to go after Trump. And that's the same Department of Justice that Obama would not have go after white terrorists. The Department of Homeland Security warned him that black people would be murdered in frightening numbers by police and others. Obama felt that it would be offensive to white Republicans. So he said, don't do anything about people who want to mass murder black people, Turner Diary style. But he would politicize the Department of Justice to go after his political enemies. So for all the Negroes who say Obama couldn't do anything, a lot of black folks are fucking liars that are delusional. Obama could have done something about the Nazi and the Klan and the white supremacists and the white nationalists and the police enforcement and the courts, and he refused. But he could illegally use those same people to illegally lie on and push this country towards a civil war. And you know what? He can go back to Hawaii or go somewhere else. He doesn't care. And by the way, remember about Obama's cook that just died in shallow water, and the guy knew how to swim. That's like the fourth dead black man under strange circumstances. The previous four. There's 5 black men that have died mysteriously. Now there are 5 dead black men, 4 of them gay. I'm not saying nothing about the cook, although it's alleged he had a book called Tasty Morsels where he's going to talk about the Obamas. And all of a sudden he's gone. And, there are allegations that Obama has a living boyfriend right now. And I don't care so much about Obama getting screwed in the booty, but he screwed our reparations movement in the booty. He screwed us in the jaws. He netted in our eyes for 8 years. And in fact, some of y'all haven't even wiped the shit out. Maybe it feels good. I would recommend a lime or cucumber, frankly. You want to do something with your eye. He lied to us. Michelle, they want to run her for resident. It's all awful. By the way, let's bring some levity. Let's do some Kamala jokes for a minute. We'll go back. We'll do a Kamala joke break.
Go ahead.
Brother Dewan, don't answer, but see if you can get in the chat. What innovation did Kamala Harris bring to the computer business? You have 30 seconds.
Come on, chat room. Say it again.
How did she innovate? How did she influence the innovation of computers?
All right, chat room, we got 30 seconds. How did Kamala Harris influence the innovation of computers? Do. We want to hear. I'm going to see who gets it right in the chat room. How did. Say it again, Dr. Short, the question?
Yeah, how did Kamala Harris inspire? What innovation in computer design did Kamala Harris inspire?
All right, Super Jello said hardware. Quan said on her knees. Somebody else said sloppy. Someone else said sloppy disk.
Okay. Floppy disk. Oh, well.
The sloppy disk. Remember the old floppy disk?
Yes, I remember. But you know what? They should have said hard disk. That would have been better. But no, everybody's wrong. I keep the prize money. Kamala Harris is the inspiration for the laptop design for computers. Yeah, I should have gotten that.
The laptop?
Yes.
Speak down, Willie Brown.
One more question. Actually, I'll just tell y'all. Or actually, I'll let y'all guess. Name. Actually, if Kamala Harris were a stewardess, what would she call a penis?
Ask it one more time.
If Kamala Harris were a stewardess, what would she call a penis? Or a ticket gate agent, what would she call a penis?
If Kamala Harris were a ticket gate agent or a stewardess, what would she call a bounty bam? What would she call it?
20 seconds.
Y'all got 20 seconds to answer the question. If Kamala Harris was DeAndre said a cockpit.
No, a boarding pass.
A boarding pass?
Yes, it's a boarding pass. Now, my question also was, and I'll tell you, name 3 ways that Kamala Harris is like a commercial carrier.
We don't have time. Why don't you tell us?
That, of course, they mentioned she has a cockpit. She's built for multiple passengers, and she has easy boarding. Okay. Yeah, we had to talk bad about her. I can't wait. Yeah, I heard from my sources that something bad's going to happen to Biden. You know, God hates the day my prayers will be answered. And she's going to be president temporarily. That's going to set white people off. That's going to be another person who's not even black. That's going to make people angry with black women. Y'all going to get jobs lost and everything. And you know how we black men don't get jobs no more. I mean, we're going to be in bad shape. And these stupid pork chop feminist studs did this to us. Now, back to Obama. Everything's falling apart. Everything. Even the fact that they're saying early, in my entire life, I have never heard people saying way before the election that black voters aren't going to vote, that black voters are leaving the Democratic Party or staying home. And they know that Obama can't get them. So he's of no use to them. This is the first time, frankly, since 1960 that the black vote has really been in play. This is a generational, multi-generational shift happening before us, and Obama botched it up. They gave him Black Lives Matter. They've done everything to make this. I mean, books. Nobody wants to see the movies. They keep pushing all this homo shit that people
They gave him a Spotify, the Spotify deal that since I think that's over, isn't it? They don't have that Spotify show no more, do they?
And people aren't interested in them. Look, so they're done. That's why they're doing Obama, and in reality,
They don't know what to expect because real black men, and there are some real black women, thank God for people like Pamela Long. Shout out to you, Pamela Long. There's some real black women out here that are really what we call the WASIs. These incredible black women who've overcome the greatest propaganda machine of all times to dupe our people. There are these heroic black women in the order of Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, Callie House, and they're holding it up. Thank God for them. Sister Eve, Sister Nikki, Sister D, Sister Mariam, Sister Latoya. I know a bunch of Wazis, and that's the other movement they're scared of. Some black men and some black women are beginning to work together, and that's the dynamic duo. Obama and them failed to permanently divide black men and black women. And if truth be told, as much as they pushed Michelle Obama's book, and I'm certain some people bought it, I mean, but they probably took the dust cover off so they could get through it. Or had to read, her picture was on the dust cover. Take that off so they could read the book. It's done. And now the one way they know to diminish Obama is to put this sex stuff out, which has been hidden, and people have known about Obama's proclivities for years. 4 years. I've been talking about this shit for 20 years. 20. And I first heard about it like in the 80s when Obama kept harassing the white men on the Harvard Law Review. I mean, this is known. But it was all a psych up on black people to get them to think that, yes, you're finally Americans. Go to sleep. We don't want to kill you, enslave you. We know you're fully part of the society. Psych. And so Obama's no longer spellbound like 90% of black folks.
Right.
And so now he's no longer needed. And on top of that, Obama, what's coming up right now, let's just shift over to Africa. All of those problems in Africa now are linked to Libya. Who destroyed Gaddafi? Obama
and Hilary.
They've got insurgencies all over Africa. Places like Mozambique, Ghana has an insurgency. And by the way, folks, you heard it here on Dwan B, okay, that if a war breaks out in West Africa, these terrorists are going to kill black American expats in Ghana. They're sitting ducks. And you know what? I'm going to blame Obama and all the people that voted for every single solitary black American death. They're not armed. They stand out. People can notice them. They're often lighter colored. They're sitting ducks. I've said this before, and then the great historian in the University of Texas system, Gerald Horne, even mentioned black expats at risk of being killed all over Africa. This has been brought to you by Obama. Death. And so, all of y'all with y'all stupid ass T-shirts with that punk ass nigga on it and all the other stuff, and all the little books that y'all didn't really read, because if you had read him saying that his wife wasn't pretty in his own hands. I mean, what kind of man says, it's the same kind of man that says, I'm glad my wife's looks weren't so intimidating as to be off-putting to men or intimidating to women. She has a sort of, a working mother lived in beauty.
Hey,
what
Dr.
kind
Short.
of man says that?
Dr. Short.
Yeah, he's the same kind of man that writes a letter to his girlfriend saying he constantly dreams about having sex with dudes. That's the kind of man he is.
That's real. This is something I want to point out what Dr. Short was saying. A lot of people listen, and I get these. First off, I want to say 99% of the responses to Dr. Short is positive. 98% of the responses, you guys love Dr. Short. Most of you guys know what time it is, but some people don't. And so when Dr. Short says things like "oh faggot" and he talks stuff about It's not about anybody's sexual preference, none of that. We ain't talking about that. The whole point of us bringing stuff like that, first of all, Dr. Short is bringing it up because it's something that's been around for a long time. A lot of people don't like to read don't like to read deeper, and so they get mad when he points it out. But the primary reason why we bring stuff like that is because the reason why we bring it up is with him acting like that, it shows that, allegedly, of course, I'm gonna use the word alleged, but it shows that he isn't who he says he is, and he isn't the person that the media hyped him up to be. And the reason why is that important? People are like, well, so what? He's not president no more. Why does it matter what he does with his personal life? Here's why that matters. It's because black folks and Americans in general tend to vote on personalities. People vote off people that they like. They don't pay attention to policy, don't pay attention to past misdeeds, don't ask what have you done for the greater good of society. All you have to do in America is have the right talk, have the right walk, then you're eligible for president. And then when that president turns around and gets into office and does a bunch of bullshit, the people who voted for him based off personality, instead of coming back and saying, you know what, maybe I was wrong, or maybe this, they double down and they triple down because they want to be right. And so the primary reason why we're bringing it, we're kind of throwing it in people's faces because we did talk about this years ago, but at the same time, we're seeing the fallout. People voting off of personality, people voting for someone just because of that's my president and all that bullshit, that has real life consequences to real Americans and real people, specifically black people. And we've been suffering those consequences. And so now, as we talk about all of the black women that have been put as the face of indicting Trump, that's going to have consequences too. And so it's something that black folks need to get their heads out of their asses and be ready for. And for those of you people listening to me right now, you all have family members, you all have friends and people that you know that are on this train. Don't feel intimidated to call these people out. Don't feel like, because in 2016, 2017, 2014, 2012, a lot of us were quiet at the Thanksgiving table when the subject of Obama came up, when we started really seeing through his crap. A lot of us were just quiet. It's no need to feel and be quiet anymore because people are living real life consequences from these dumbass decisions that we be making as a people. But go ahead, Dr. Short, with what you had to say. That's just an observation that I have of what's going on.
Well, it is. And you know what? I would rather those people that don't like this suffer in agony at our bitter words. They deserve us. You know what I'm saying? You know what? You know what's really annoying? The other day, my mother had a fire alarm go off, and it made so much damn noise. And it turned out the thing was defective and it had died. But, we had to have the fire department come in. But you know what? A fire alarm is annoying, but it lets you know there's danger.
Yeah.
So I'm a fire alarm, and I'm telling you it's danger. I don't care if it bothers your eardrums. Grow up. Get out of the fire unless you want to burn up. And so, yes, and I love this. We're going to keep talking. In fact, if it's bothering people, it's a real turn on. For ignorant black folks who are mentally and psychologically undisciplined, and they go to churches, everything. In fact, we live in a culture where black people are consistently masturbated. The music, the food, it keeps us satiated and weak. And it's all setting us up for a beatdown that we won't recover from. So all the people that just want to hear stuff that turns them on, that's because they're mentally crippled, spiritually crippled. They hate the truth. In fact, the Bible says haters of the truth end up in hell. So I'm just the beginning of your problems. If you don't like truth, you don't like facts. Well, the afterlife is going to be a real fun party for you. I don't care. Should grow the hell up. The reason that we're being left behind, our kids are dying at record rates of suicide. They've even with this defund the police, you know that they're setting it up for there to be mass shootings of black youth, for these stores being broken in. We don't even know who's doing it.
Oh, hey, Dr. Short. No, finish that point. I'm bringing an article up. Finish that point. Go ahead.
They're blaming, it's being implied that it's black youth destroying all these stores everywhere. They're setting up a situation by which they will have a justification to mass murder young black people. And this was brought to us by Obama, and these other people have done this. There's
To
blood on their hands. And all of you that are with it, there's blood on you. You guys are cursed for supporting this, for our people to be massacred. You're criminals. You guys belong in jail for supporting this happening to your own people. You're the equivalent of a black Nazi to want this for us.
I have on for those of you paying attention, look at the screen. They're blaming everything on black folks, but then when they got to who was arrested, it was there's some black that you have these people wearing all black, but when it comes down to some of the people that were arrested, they ain't black. It's some Mexicans. You've had like a lot of Mexicans arrested. Look right here. Look right here. Here's a picture. Isaac Ramirez, first person directly. They see when it comes to somebody being arrested, you see non-black people. But what they're doing is they're making when they're doing the reports, they're showing like that one picture. They're showing a whole bunch of black folks. And yes, I'm not saying there aren't black people doing it. And I will say this also. When it comes to a lot of these stories, a lot of these smash and grabs, what happens oftentimes is there's somebody on the back end that's paying these kids a lot of money to just go ahead and take shit from stores. And imagine you in the hood, you got people coming around, and oftentimes it's organized gangs that'll come down to the hood and play black street gangs to do certain things, to be the face of certain things, give them that little payout, give them that little money, and keep pushing. You think those kids are selling all those clothes themselves? You think those kids are setting up shop inside of a van and going around? No, they're getting those clothes, they're getting those items, and they're taking them to somebody. That's somebody who's paying these kids to do this. It's a whole system. But and the news understands this, because I'm gonna take this back to a story. And I'm gonna get you back to you, Dr. Short. 1 second. If you go back to that catalytic converter thing, that catalytic converter ring thing that's been going on around the country a few years ago, it came out that there was a whole it's like one or two people at the top that were paying folks, mostly paying Mexicans, to go around and steal catalytic converters. Why am I saying all this? Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to say the folks, they know who these people are. They know where it comes from, and they also know. Look on the screen right here. This is a report I have right here talking about the organized theft ring that's been going on. The people who are in law enforcement, who enforce the law, they know that if they just arrest 2 or 3 people, everything gets shut down. But they also know if they arrest these 2 or 3 people, they won't have jobs. So they ignore the 2 or 3 people up top that's paying these street folks to do this type work, and they're making it seem as if these are just random black kids going in stores, and now we need more money from you taxpayers to cover these Negroes stealing things. It's all a racket, and they make us the face for it, and they make us the face for it for the reasons Dr. Short is going to explain as he continues to talk. But go ahead, Dr. Short.
It's very simple. I have a witness. I watched a Latino man threaten to kill policemen. I literally watched it. I videoed it. It's in my phone. And I went up to the police and asked, why would you guys allow that? I was told by an African tethered policeman, we've been told not to arrest them. We had a chief of police in D.C. He was going to go after this stuff. They threatened to kill his family. Who? Latinos. The mayor of D.C., who wants to be a vice presidential candidate, she ran with the gay Latino dude from Texas that ran in 2020 and lost, didn't get nowhere. They are not black politicians that have national aspirations, who see they've got some black-brown thing working, are going out of their way to be nice to Spanish-speaking illegals, to ingratiate themselves at the expense of black people. So the police will lock up black folks but won't touch the other people, but folks will let them know. For these political people to say, we're cool. And so they know about this. They know that this stuff is Antifa. It's the same people. Where did Antifa and all this stuff go? They still have an operation. This is them, funded again by the Democrats, funded by certain people to do these things. And then who provides the dope and the guns to the black gangs? Latino gangs. Therefore, black folks are subcontractors to the Latino criminal families. They know all about this. And in fact, the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people that come to this country are foot soldiers of the cartels who are experts. Black folks can't steal they've never stolen and done this stuff. All over the country at one time. It doesn't even sound like us.
Yeah.
But no one's saying anything. Do you know why? Because like some of those respectability Negroes that are on this thing listening, who can't deal with the words shit, motherfucker, damn, pussy, dick, ass. They're the same kind of people in the jobs that won't do their goddamn jobs because they don't want to lose their government job or they don't want to lose their promotion or their pension. So on one hand, the same kind of mindset that won't do anything about it, won't do anything about failing schools, anything else, come to your little platform and then try to tell the few blacks, the few of us that want to think, or how we can talk. Fuck y'all. Fuck all of you. I mean, in Jesus' name, fuck you. Go to hell, burn up. These are the people who betrayed us, the traitors, and the black organizations that take, like the NAACP, that will take money from a business that discriminates. I remember in Baltimore, black folks were being screwed by MCI when they were into telecommunications. You know what? That people were they were standing up to MCI. You know what MCI did?
What?
MCI set up the NAACP's website, and therefore the NAACP wouldn't do anything about the people of Baltimore being discriminated against. This is what these respectful,
They sold
polite
niggas. Hold on. They sold niggas out for a website.
Yes.
Oh my God.
These are the kinds of people that don't get it.
You can't make this shit up.
I can't respect them. I don't give a damn if I'm offending them. Great. I should hate you. We should hate people like you. You won't do anything. You won't stand anything. You won't fight. But you do you worry about semantics. Why don't you go on the white talk show platforms and tell them how to talk? The ones that actually have folk go out and shoot black people in supermarkets and such. They ain't brave enough because they'll dox you, find you, and get you. So if we were so bad, you'd be afraid to criticize us. You're cowards. You're punks. You're liars. By the way, Cash App, Brother Dewan and I. Send us some money because we're giving these coons hell.
As you see, I appreciate the Cash App from you, DeAndre Mosey. I appreciate the Cash App. Y'all see, y'all have Dr. Short's Cash App. It's been on the screen for a few minutes now. If you haven't noticed it, take notice of Dr. Short's Cash App. It's on the screen. Appreciate the Cyberdyne for the Cash App.
And we gonna make it rain, man. And let me tell you something. We are gonna do respectable things, Dewan. Let me share something with you for all the people who can't stand the cussing. For all the people that can't stand the cussing. For all the people that can't stand the cussing. When we start going after corrupt, middle-class, Greek letter and Masonic people who are stealing government, state monies that are meant for poor black people, you'll wish all we did was cuss. You haven't begun to not like me, and I haven't begun to piss you off. We already have people who are pretending to represent unions, pretending to do stuff for young people who are stealing. We're going to bust their asses. In fact, the day I stop cursing and talking like this, and I put my suit on, and I have to like cool up just a little bit so I can't speak like we're speaking to each other like friends. That's when you should be worried. You should be worried when you hear me talking about the axiom or it's axiomatic for us to eliminate the rentier system within the black elite that has taken the government largesse as an emolument to deprive the marginalized and underserved communities. When I start talking like that, that means I'm coming to get you guys put in jail. For all the corrupt elite middle, you'll wish I did cuss all day long. You'll wish to God that we weren't serious. We already have something in Philly. Someone's going to jail. So thank you, Cyberdyne. Someone sent me something. Bless certain people going to jail in Philly, and pretty soon I have somebody going to go after these coons in D.C. that are lying in the school system. They're going to all be divine swine and respectable that don't curse, but they probably will molest kids and look at porn and all this other kind of stuff. And their kids are look. We're going to deal with the crooked respectability thugs in our community who don't say it like it is. They don't say what they mean or mean what they say. And they don't like those of us that do. You know why they don't like it, Dewan? Because if black people ever get their stuff together, the mediocre, the sellout, the traitors, the coons, or the coontards, the blacknecks, the nigglings, the negroidians, they're going to be under our feet. They're going to become a permanent underclass. You know, we're going to have a black Central Intelligence Agency, and we're going to have dossiers on all the black folks that sold out. And when we have the reparation fund, someone put in your name, your family refused to support reparations. We're going to have to put you on the wait list for this benefit. So to have a meeting. This broker guy had to come in and say, my mother was a bitch. She didn't want to support the movement. I'm not like that. Right? The Chinese and other people had to do that. They had to discipline the scum, both high level, or should I say highbrow and lowbrow scum. When we talk about degenerate people in our community, we're so class oriented. We only talk about the broke black people that do wrong.
That's a good point.
That's not a big enough target for me. I can't stand bushy niggas, elitist Negroes. They're the ones I despise the most.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just give you a story. You didn't hear about it. There was a mass stabbing up at Howard University.
Oh, I remember. I heard a little bit about it. But tell us about it.
There were two attacks. Well, what happened is, let me just say this to you. Back in 1999 or 97, to show you how long ago, I wrote an article, I think in 97 or 97, and I talked about how Howard University wanted to build a wall when I was at Howard, so the black people from the community would not feel welcome to come up on campus. And it's called Howard University's Berlin Wall. And I remember the quote that I put in, that Howard University's administration treats the local black community around Howard University like the cast extras from Roots. And that Howard has always dogged the black people around here. The vicious ass, high yellow, nasty type black folks who wish they could be white and kill us. These kinds of people who control our community, they have hijacked us. They're destroying us. I've seen them. I despise them more than the person that reeks of skunk weed on the bus. It's these kinds of black folks that know better, that deliberately are working to destroy us. I can't stand you. You're scum. And we're going to get you. And the same way when France was occupied and the countries were occupied by the Nazis, this happens in any group that's dominated by another. There's always a group that sells out. But I'll tell you, the resilient groups that survive, they punish the traitors. Traitors get hunted down. People know not to do certain things against the collective because they'll get punished. We have to get this mindset in that if you betray us, we're going to get you. As I told someone, white folks may get me, but I'm going to get you first. That mindset has to come in, that we're going to punish anyone that does anything to us. That's why I talk about Ofaga like I do, and anybody else. And this is just the beginning. We've got the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee. We're going to have a whole lot of fun with black folks who haven't done right. And you're not going to see us bothering the little welfare mother who's made semen milkshakes with all the boys in the neighborhood with a lot of fuck toy trophies. We're going to be talking about successful black people who are stealing procurement that's meant for other people. It's time for us to start dealing with the fact that there have been billions and billions and billions of dollars poured into black communities, and it's been stolen and siphoned off by a certain type of black person that's very respectable. They wear the nice suits. They don't talk like we do on this, but they are criminals.
Niggas
They're
named
worse
Thurston.
than Nino Brown. They're despicable. They're despicable. And they're the ones who support Obama because Obama did. Some black folks did okay. 1 in 6 black people is doing all right, but they don't share. And that's wrong. Some of us have been active in the community, marched, knocked on doors, did it for free, and certain folk got paid for it. We shook the trees and they collected the fruit, and then they hate the people that shook the trees.
That's the trip part right there, right?
You covenant breaking motherfuckers. And brotherfuckers too. We're sick of you, and that's why they don't want. In particular, he calls himself a doctor. He has a PhD. Look, black folks aren't even going to college anymore in California, right? Haven't they driven them out? So,
for the most part, yeah.
Who cares about all this education if it's a bunch of debt and there are no jobs for people to pay down their debt, which makes a lot of folks are homeless with degrees for these respectability Negroes who are in Jack and Jill and Teen and Tot and these other little high yellow organizations. I'm not saying they're necessarily high yellow, but you know what? You do see some of this colorism. They're the biggest purveyors of black self-hatred. They're disgusting. And we should revile them. We used to have black pride. When black pride was strong, a lot of these people kept their damn mouths shut. The reason that they even come out and say stuff now is we're in the age of the coon, where it's okay to hate being black. It's okay to try to, assert your little stupid insular type stuff that you're into. Because back in the day, you wouldn't dare do that because you'd get jumped. In fact, I've met people, they hated the point when black folk woke up. In fact, there was a concerted effort by the black elite and others to destroy black awareness. It was uncomfortable, as I remind people, and I can send you the picture, Brother Dewan, when they had the black Jesus on the cover of Ebony. I think I've talked to you about that before.
Yeah.
Remember? And black folks threatened Ebony, and Ebony had to apologize for putting a black Jesus on the cover of their magazine. That's the kind of black folks, they're trash. They like white supremacy. They have a place in it. These are the kind of people you should have as much contempt for them as a person stealing the Kia cars, as a person that spread AIDS, as the persons that steal your Amazon packages off the porch. They're just a prettier Lane Bryant, Joseph A. Banks suit-wearing type sellouts. I don't give a damn about you. Went to have been around y'all. Y'all are nothing. Y'all don't help nobody. Y'all kids on drugs. Y'all kids marry sorry white folks. You guys aren't nothing. Your kids don't do any better on the SATs than the kids from the projects. That's the fundamental thing because y'all are niggas too at the end of the day. And they move out to little gated communities. In fact, in Prince George's County, now that all the black folks in D.C. and other places have moved to Prince George's to get away from other black people, they've moved to Charles County. And pretty soon they'll move to St. Mary's. And you know what? They'll be stuck because the only thing left is the Atlantic Ocean. I wrote a poem called Fuck My Community. And the stanza I remember, run to the suburbs if you think you can. I'm out there too. I'm your conscience, man. You are not going to get away from the struggle of our people to be free. Either you're for us or you're against us. Either you're a freedom-fighting, patriotic, FBA, B1, or as I say, a descendant of Aboriginal and African-American people in this country, or you're a traitor. Which side are you on? Stop hiding behind class. These churches don't care. These organizations don't care. The professional organizations don't care. The black elected officials don't care. And we in the grassroots do care, and we speak like we like. I
That's
sent you
real
that
talk. And that's
Dry
the point.
Jesus.
I'm glad you said that about speaking like we like, because, you know, people have gotten so conditioned to getting talked to by a certain way, by people who dress a certain way. And I've always said this. I've been saying this for years. The three-piece suit is the uniform of the liar and the deceiver. Now,
And the
I'm
traitor.
in a trader. And to those of you out there, some of you guys out there who like to dress cool, I ain't talking about everybody, of course. As a matter of fact, if you think I'm talking, if someone makes a statement and you think they're talking about everybody, you're a fucking idiot. You should know that there are exceptions to every goddamn thing. But anyway, if you think about it, anytime you've been lied to on a large level, I ain't talking about some little petty little lie. If you've been lied to on a large level, it was probably by somebody in a three-piece suit. If you've been deceived and money stolen from you on a big level, I ain't talking about a little armed robbery where they took $20 out your pocket. I'm talking about if you've been done wrong and given an extra half a point on a loan that you shouldn't be paying. If you've been given a car note that's a couple percentage points higher than normal. If you've been turned around and you've gone to church and you know the pastor went ahead and took that money and gave it to 3 or 4 of his side chicks, whatever it is, if you've been deceived on a high level, it's probably been by someone in a three-piece suit. The pimp, the politician, and the preacher wear the same goddamn uniform. Do people think about that? And these are all people in these three-piece suits, talking all nice, talking all cool. They won't cuss. You know, these politicians, they don't cuss. These multi-trillionaires, exclusive families, and these people don't cuss. These people who work for the news, they turn on the news and they lie to your face all goddamn day. They wearing a three-piece suit and they ain't cussing. Ain't nobody who's fucking you over cussing. Nobody. Let me say it one more time. The people who fuck you over, and I did use the word fuck, F-U-C-K. The people who fuck you over don't cuss. And so I'm here to say this. If you're the kind of person that the message has to come off a certain way, you probably got a rectum as wide as a 10 freeway because you've been getting fucked your whole life. The people who going to tell you the truth are going to tell you how the hell they feel it. I'm not saying all people that cuss are telling you the truth. All I'm saying is this. When people who are telling you the truth, they're going to deliver the truth in the way they deem most comfortable to deliver the message. Let me say that one more time. People who tell the truth are going to tell you the truth with whatever methods they deem acceptable to deliver the message to you. Whatever they're comfortable talking to you. They're not going to let your discomforts get in the way of delivering you the truth. And if somebody does, usually the time when they sugarcoating it, they're not giving you the whole truth. So that's why people always say, what are we going to do? How do we know if there's going to be a new leader? There's no next leader. There's no new leader. It's on the listeners to go around and listen to messages. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. It's your job to listen to the message, and whatever part of that message resonates with you, get off your lazy ass and do something with it. Now, I'm not saying everything Dr. Short says or everything I say is going to resonate with you. It's going to be certain things that we say that you just flat out don't agree with, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone has their own opinions. We're not going to agree over every goddamn thing. But what I will say is this. Those who are serious about making changes, those who are serious about seeing the things that they want, that they see need to get changed, and those who are serious about doing something about it, 99.9% of the time, they don't give a damn how the message is delivered. They just need the message. Which one are you? Go ahead, Dr. Short.
So we've got so much going on. In fact, speaking of someone I can't respect, that's along with Obama, is Oprah Winfrey. Oh my
Lord.
God. That ugly hippo. Did you see her handing out discounts to
in Hawaii?
water? But she had that same hat on when she bought that shaker chest of drawers for $500,000 back in the 90s. When she outbidded the white people for that chest of drawers, spent more money than anybody white, and white folks were shocked. And then she turned around and bought the land from those people who had been burnt out in Maui. She wasn't going there to help nobody. I knew Oprah don't care about nobody that much. You could see she wasn't happy being there, trying to look at the most distressed people and get their property. I mean, she probably wants more land so she can help white men do trafficking or whatever. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, for her to remember Harvey Weinstein, how come you got your tongue in his ear? You know, nasty, and you're setting women up. And so I'm wondering if now with the sound of freedom, if they can make Maui the new Epstein Island, just burn off all the other people and all the billionaires so they could do what they want. So they can have compounds and drink adrenochrome. And Oprah can say, I'm the only black person there. But you know what? She doesn't cuss, so they probably like her.
You know, in this picture I have up, she looks a lot like that Beetlejuice face Jamil Hill, that sports person that's always talking bad about black men. They kind of look like in this picture. She kind of looks like Jamil Hill. Chat room fellas in the chat that watch ESPN. Am I lying, brothers? She do, and then look at her. She's over there. I have a picture of her up in the shelter. She knows she didn't want to be there. That was all photo op. She was there long enough for that photo. She probably was in and out that bitch within 7 minutes.
You can see that she doesn't like people. You can see that she doesn't like people. You can see that she doesn't like people. You can tell. I mean, she's just awful. I just wish, it's not just her. It's the Mayor Adams said that he's gonna this little bald-headed dude, and then the one that looks like a trans Barbara Jordan. That's the mayor of Chicago. Look at Oprah. Look at her. Damn. And those silly ass glasses, she look like she got them from the Dollar General. I mean, it's sad. It's so sad. Oh God, it's sad. She
looks a little bit kind of like John Lennon with a weave right here with them glasses on. Yeah,
she does look like John Lennon took too many melanin pills, man. But you know what? Yoko Ono was freaky enough to hang with her. She'd stay, as strange as she was. They were weird. Look, it's not just Obama. It's a whole group of black folks that have gotten rich and successful, and they haven't brought other people along. That $6.6 million that she spent in Maui could have been used in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. She could have bought up the whole town. She could buy up the Mississippi Delta. She has no interest in black people. Obama and them want to be where the rich white people are. Nothing wrong with that, but you get these big places far away from the people who are so loyal, and they like the fact that Obama doesn't cuss. But then again, you don't know. In fact, the cursing, if you call it that, he's done a lot worse. The killing people at their weddings and funerals. Drone Man killed thousands of people. Obama's a mass murderer, but you know what? He's black. Oops, I forgot. The same kind of black folks who find a million excuses for Obama are the same ones that don't get upset when we are killing each other in our own community, but they get upset if a policeman does it. It's just, they're weird. They think they have morality. They don't. What they have is a herd mentality, sort of like a bunch of lemmings about to go over the cliff. Now, I was just thinking, my brother, because we got to do this again. I know you get so busy and you got to work, but we've got to talk about Ukraine. That shit's a disaster. And by the way, for all of y'all that like Biden, they're bringing over tens of thousands of Ukrainians who are white supremacists. They're putting them in Chicago, and they're going to put them in the police force. And they're used to killing people. They're going to kill black folks. And you know what? All you Obama niggas, y'all support this. If some of y'all get shot or beat, please don't tell me.
That's real talk.
I promise I'm not going to be sympathetic, because at some point the world has to be bigger than your personal family circle, your genitals. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. Some of us could be with these fake ass niggas. Some of us could. I can't stomach it. It makes me sick. Oh, maybe like a little more seltzer in my drink. I mean, and they just have their little socials. Y'all know how fake the people of Greeks are. They have all this money. They have $1 million party. They'll raise $10,000 for charity, and they'll give it to each other's kids and talk about how they're helping black people.
You're right about that. That whole
They're
charity
fake.
hustle. That they will. You're right. They will have a fundraiser. They'll have charities, and they'll just share it amongst themselves and say we help black folks. That is a racket that's been going on for over 100 years, and a lot of niggas don't understand that racket.
And they don't cuss.
Yeah.
They wear a suit too, Dewan.
Yeah,
so
they
do
don't.
all of this stuff.
Yeah,
They have the NAACP Freedom Fund dinners where almost all the money is spent in a white area showing, and they feel good because they could sit with white people and have a dinner. That's how they bought off black groups. Is, wow, you can sit next to a white person that hates you one day in the year with nice clothes on, and yet there's no economic or social change. Damn.
Real talk. Before we get to I'm gonna get to the last topic before we get up out of here. I just want to touch on it. Me being born and raised here in Los Angeles, California, and I'm gonna get your opinion on it. We had the tropical storm and the earthquake yesterday. My first time in my life. I was funny right, about an hour before the earthquake. I had told my wife, I was like, because it was raining hard as hell. I was like, man, it'd be crazy if we had a damn earthquake. And then about an hour later, we felt that shit rumbling and tumbling all around. We like, what the F? And we got the little warning and everything. And so, but I said that to say, you know, I was watching the news, and the news made it seem like it's about to be this biggest thing that's about to be in the apocalypse, and that's going to kill us all. Man, let me tell y'all something. From being in here in L.A., man, that wasn't shit. Some areas got affected a little bit, but we had worse rain this past February. I remember one day there was like a period, there's like a 3-day period back in February to where it rained like nonstop. And I think LA had its longest stretch of rain. It was like 30 days in a row where we went like 30 days without seeing sunshine. And so, you know, this has been going on here, but this tropical storm thing was new. But I got to see how, like, because I've never been on the East Coast. The East Coast and the South, y'all deal with hurricanes every now and again. We've never dealt with this shit before. We get earthquakes. Earthquakes spontaneous. It ain't no major drum up on the news to an earthquake. You don't know that shit's coming. But one thing I got to see was how that they got people panicked. And how panicked people were over this hurricane. Not hurricane, tropical storm. Dr. Short, you've been on the East Coast doing stuff like that. You see the difference between the hype and what happens. What's your opinion on this thing that they get us in, if this cycle they get us involved in?
I think that there's a whole system of keeping the people afraid and distracted because they're doing all kinds of stuff. Uh-huh. They're doing all kinds of things. People who are not taking cash anymore, and certain businesses. These people are looking to do a reset. And so it's like this new shutdown that's coming. There's a new virus. There are fires. If you just keep the people constantly afraid for their future, for their life, they don't think about anything else. In fact, they worry about stuff like cussing. But they don't deal with anything. So it is about controlling people. I sent you that picture where someone claims that was an energy weapon hitting Maui. You can post that. I mean, there may be a larger move by the super rich who hate and fear the people to break them, to take all their money and keep them down. And so I see this as just making people afraid. Afraid for this, afraid. Every year there's a new virus. You've got to get these shots or you're going to die. Everyone's going to die. There's an earthquake. It's going to rain. Pretty soon they're going to tell you having this shit is deadly. Then people be afraid to shit. Try not to shoot. Well, you know, they said shooting could kill you. I mean, it's the same way they're telling you that men have children, or the CDC is teaching you how to let children suck on your chest. Chest feeding, as if a baby can get something out of a man's chest. And what kind of man wants a baby sucking on his chest? You
Yeah,
watch
what kind of
the
shit is
promoter
that?
get
That's
a
weird.
yeah, it's on the CDC website, chest feeding. It's not my opinion. I'm not picking on homosexuals. They're the ones that put this shit up there. And they get mad if you're straight and you read it. It's your fucking business. I mean, this shit should be in your bedroom and not in that of people's kids. So you now in people's kids' bedroom, people notice your ass. In fact, you're lucky they don't have a Glock. So it's frightening people. It's breaking morals down. That just no police, this, that, and the other. And yet, if you grow a garden, they want to put you in jail. If you call a boy, they fire you from your job as a teacher. And yet you have to teach kids how to put lubricants in their behind there in California. And it's like all of this stuff.
Ugh.
But I'll tell you something. They want to run Newsom for president. He's a disaster, but the public's never going to be told how jacked up dude is. They want to run
You talking about
him.
Bathhouse Newsom?
Yes. You know, I mean, look, they need someone whose pants look better on him tight than Obama. He's got he should be Joe Texas song, skinny legs and all. I don't know what people see in this person, man. Just skinny legs and all. Hat, hat. Somebody tell you yes. Skinny legs. No. Look. Look.
I always thought Gavin Newsom looked like Terry Silver from Karate Kid 2.
Who?
I always thought Gavin Newsom, he looks like Terry Silver. That was the guy, the villain in Karate Kid 2.
Wow. Well, to me, he looks a little like the Joker without the makeup. The one that killed himself.
Oh yeah.
We should be so lucky. Psych.
See, I got a picture of him. Yeah, that's Terry Silver right there. That's Terry Silver. He just got a little older. Newsom, yeah, that's who that is. Newsom. I see that. Even you see what he does, like with California with the reparations bill. He put it out there like, hey, we're gonna put it to a task force. And the minute that task force said cash reparations is what black folks in California want, Terry Silver came out and said, well, I don't think cash is going to be it. It's going to be because he didn't think it'd go that. He sent it to that damn committee because he didn't think it'd go that far. Now that it is where it is, they're all starting to he and hard cop pleas and shit.
DeJuan, we need motherfucking money. I was in the archives last week. I was just looking at it yesterday at my auntie's birthday. My great-grandfather served as a black and a white man in the Civil War, so he could get 2 pensions for my granny. That's how they were able to afford some land. I mean, they needed MFM at the end of the Civil War. We need it now. I'm going to say, someone asked in the chat, I feel like they're doing HARP and other things. They're doing whatever they can to mess people up. Someone asked me about my garden. Please forgive me. When the smoke from Canada, and they were spraying, I believe they sprayed the public. That's why this virus is spreading so rapidly. I believe that the chemtrails and other stuff, they let some special stuff out because everybody's coughing. Even I keep spitting up mucus all the time. I've never had this happen to me in the summer. It all started when they said that there was all this smoke from Canada, and it was so bad it was hard for me to be outside. So my garden, it started raining like crazy, maybe HARP on the D.C. side. And I have an invasion. The morning glories took over my garden. I still have some tomatoes. My blackberry bushes are doing okay, but it just jacked everything up. It took down my cherry trees. I have to go out there with a machete, maybe tomorrow, and hack stuff down because the morning glories covered everything. I even think, I was talking to someone, they may have even sprayed stuff in the air to kill people's trees and the vegetables and such. Because I've had stuff dry out and I'm watering it. And it's watered. I've never had stuff just dry out like this. So, I think they're doing all kinds of things to intimidate, to deprive people of food. If you shut down the country, how are people going to be able to pay their bills? And Biden, at least Trump offered a stimulus. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was something. The Biden and them have acted like they haven't ruined things. I mean, you can't. It's double the amount of money you need to put gas in your car. You know, I was in Aldi's the other day, and the eggs were like $1 a box. You know, my mother almost had an orgasm. That hasn't happened since my dad died, right? Since before my dad died. We had bought about 8 dozen eggs because we hadn't seen eggs under like $3-4 in over a year. I mean, basic things that we used to expect. Even if you're a low or modest income American, it's all gone. Like chickens stop laying eggs. It's like white people stop disliking black people. Come on, this is America. Shit.
You're right. I didn't understand when I went grocery shopping. A lot of the prices are starting to go down for a lot of stuff, but that lets you know the fact that the price of cars, the price of groceries, everything's going down except gas. That lets you know that all this shit is contrived. If eggs can be back down to normal price now, where they were 2 years ago, but spike up, you're right. It's not as if chickens stop producing eggs. They come up with this stuff, and then that lets you know that it's all contrived, it's all controlled, and at some point people are gonna catch up to the game.
And they should. And I'll just say, they know that one of the people, the man behind the curtain in this Wizard of Oz, is Ofaga. Biden, come on. He doesn't. The only thing Biden knows is that he's attracted to children and he hates black people. That's about all he knows, right? Look, Obama and them are still running the White House. That's the other reason they've got to get rid of him. And they've got to put someone else. They need a new person, someone who fewer people know and fewer people know their dirt. And so they can't hide for Obama. Remember, it was no drama Obama. You had all the sisters saying that, especially the ones that had lots of love handles. In fact, they had more love handles than a merry-go-round, right? They're the ones that just praise Obama all the time. He wouldn't have even talked to them if he knew them. But, you know, they believe they have fantasies. And they figure out if he'll go out with Michelle, he'll go out with anybody. But Obama had a lot of drama. Obama hasn't, they haven't even done a real critical biography of him yet. They will. David Garrow did a good job on Martin Luther King, although, you know, and this book on Obama, it's coming out, and it's going to have to come out on Michelle and these kids. This stuff's going to come crashing down. I can't wait until all the fake black people who've been on this Obama hubris are ashamed. I'm going to just laugh in the street. I'm like dancing in the street. I want to just celebrate when all the coons get punished. Like black folks, I don't like America. Damn it, where are you going to live? Try to go to Africa right now. People need to grow up. This
I
want to
say,
country.
I want to be. I know I said I was about to leave, but it's been a lot of people talking about repatriating Africa. Tell them what they did. Tell these people who think like that, who talk about something. We need to move to Africa. We need to get up. Ain't nothing here in America for us. Talk to them real quick before you close it out, Dr. Show. What are you going to say to people who think like that?
Well, there was a story in the press about a group of Nigerians that got on the rudder of a cargo ship. The rudder, the thing that steers it in the water, and they drank seawater from Nigeria to America. They wanted to get out of Africa that bad. They were drinking ocean water, people.
Oh, wow.
Okay. They don't even know how they survived. They drank ocean water. And so thousands of Africans die every year in the Mediterranean, eaten by sharks, trying to get out. That's why they had the coup in Niger. If you're listening, and of course our people don't listen to African news. That's why we're so stupid. We're stupid because we talk about Africa, but you can't crack a book. Unless you're talking about pyramids, some ancient shit. Talk about Africa now. Talk about Ghana. The economy there is almost gone. That's where a lot of the black folks are going. The thing that's holding up Ghana are the silly black folks that don't know they're in a country whose economy is about to collapse. That's the reason why the president, whose name should be one syllable, it should be shit, but it's a doo-doo, which is the same thing as a shit. A dude and them were about to do all this gay stuff because they needed American money. They were ready to crack their ass cheeks open to get American money because Ghana's broke. Those African countries are rich in resources, but they're poorly managed. They had their African boule, their Masonic, and they're just dumb fuck grifter thieves. They worship white people. They hate black people. They hate us here. They hate their own people. They may help a few friends and family like they do in Equatorial Guinea, but they don't care about the masses. In Africa, basically, 85% of the population in most countries is poor or extremely poor. When you go over there, you may be wealthier than them, but it doesn't mean that people necessarily are going to embrace you. Some will, some don't. Africa, you're going to need to learn how to get your own water. If you're looking at Niger, that gives France all of its uranium, and it powers 1/3 of the French economy, and yet 95% of Nigerians don't have access to electrical power.
That's
Unlike
some
most of
bullshit.
you, most of you, I went to Niger in 1983. I was 18 years old. I'm 58 now. Shit's worse than when I went to that country almost a half century ago. And so a lot of black folks that want to go to Africa, they're looking at these big cities and shit. They have some big cities in Africa, but they're expensive. They're not as cheap as you think. And this whole thing, let me just say this to you. First of all, motherfuck Alex Haley. I never liked him. There's a picture of me holding up my middle finger to Alex Haley. I did it in Crampton Auditorium basement because Alex Haley ripped off my cousin. Alex Haley worked for the intelligence community. One thing he did was he distorted what Malcolm X told him, but y'all think it's a classic. And then to get black people to not to claim America is to get everybody to want to go back to a village in Africa, right? That there's some village where everybody's going to love us. Well, we don't even fucking like our first, second, and third cousins right here that we know every day.
Right.
Somehow we're going to go to Africa and find a village somewhere, and they're going to speak perfect English. I mean, what the fuck are we on? I don't like Pan-Africanists, and most of them don't go to Africa. Pan-Africanism is a hustle.
Tell it.
For black Americans to travel and be treated like kings and queens when they get there. They hang with the dictators that kill and steal everything from everyone, and they come over here and collect from us. They don't do anything. Most of them are frauds. They're frauds. I wish they were about something. In fact, instead of people learning Swahili or learning Zulu, let's see some black American kids learn how to read and write. They come out of school with 12 years of education. They're more illiterate than kids dropped who crossed the border, class valedictorian in black schools, and our kids can't do anything. Pan-Africanism is escapism. It is a type of political cultural crack. Let me be clear. I'm not saying I don't like Africa. I love Africa. I'm one of these people, as I said, my cousin, Thelma Doswell from Blackstone, Virginia, is the mother of black genealogy. We've been going to Africa since the 1950s. I've got family in the Ghanaian parliament, the last name Short's there. Those are people in my family that went back. I like Africa and I like Africans, but I am a American. And when you're in other countries, people let you know that you're an American once you open your mouth. And they don't recognize black Americans as separate from white Americans. They see you as an American. And when America blows some shit up, they look at you as if you did it. It doesn't matter how many cops shoot you, arrest you, or profile you. You're an American. Anybody teaching you that this ain't your home is your goddamn enemy. You know what? The white supremacists, the Nazi, and the Klansmen all agree with the Pan-Africanists that America's not your home. However, Africa's filling up. Most people fail to understand that every day in the world, as many as 7 out of 10 babies born are African. There's not going to be a whole bunch of land and space for your asses, and which is what you were told by the Pan-Africanists. And the Pan-Africanists haven't explained to you that the Chinese have bases there, the Russians are going to have bases there. They've sold a lot of their land for almost nothing, these corrupt governments, and AFRICOM is there. You're not going to get away from white power going anywhere other than standing up to it here for the land that you already have. So as far as I'm concerned, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, that's my goddamn Africa. I'm in Congo. You need to fight for what you got. It says a bird in the hand is better than 10 in the bush. It's like a hole in bed is better than the trick on the block. Y'all need to stop playing with yourselves. Stop letting these people lie to you. Stop. In fact, these same people, Pan-Africanists, all hang out in Egypt. They don't go to the broke-ass parts of Africa. No, they don't. Some of them do, but most don't. Look, in South Africa, it's supposedly the most advanced economy. When I say to you, my God, sister, that they don't have electrical power for 10, 12 hours in the day in the most advanced country in Africa, and if you go to the Arab places in Tunisia where they don't want black people, the president said that. In Libya where they kill the black people, and Egypt where they have serious discrimination against dark-skinned Egyptians, or Morocco or Mauritania where they still have slavery for blacks that are called haratin, another word for slave. I mean, this idea about what Africa is, or where people get killed. Like in Uganda a few months ago, someone came across the border and killed all these kids in the school. They killed about 40 kids, just hacked them up. Africa isn't a hobby. Africa isn't a joke. Africa's serious. And Nigeria has about 4 or 5 civil wars going on at one time right now.
4 or
Ghana's
5 civil wars going on at once.
That's
4 or 5 civil wars going on at once. I had to say that again.
Cameroon has one. Angola's got one in Cabinda. The thing is called FLEC. You've got these groups fighting, and they're getting funded, and their weapons coming in from America and France and Israel. And you've got Islamic stuff, and they're killing folks because they're Christian. You know, my business partner was working with a project in Nigeria helping school kids. And she quit because one day she got a message that the 60 kids she was sponsoring were burnt up because a dormitory was set on fire by Islamic terrorists. And she says, I'm out. I can't handle that. The reality of what's going on. And so a lot of little dumbass black folks, as I said, let this war come to Niger. If I were an Islamic terrorist and I wanted to send a message to America, in particular, if I was angry about a little mulatto faggot who started all of this, the best way to hurt him would be to kill black American expats in Africa, because we're known for supporting Obama no matter what. We've signed our own death warrant politically by not thinking. And you know what? And it's not white people. You can't blame white people, Coons. This is our stupidity. What we should say, yes, I voted for Obama, but I'm against AFRICOM militarizing Africa. Most of you don't understand, and let me just say this to you, that the Sahel cuts Africa in half. It extends from the Senegambia all the way to Eritrea and Sudan and the east. And all along that, the United States Military Academy at West Point, they've been modeling and preparing for a war in Africa for 12 years, thanks to Obama. They've been dumping weapons and stuff in there for years. You guys are going to go to Africa and they will shoot your black ass just like a cop here. At least here you could have an AR-14, an AR-15. You could have something. In Africa, they don't allow you to have all that kind of stuff. You could just be ass out. No one's going to know you. And if you're not in a particular group, if you look like you're something else, if I could tell you, for 3 years when I was a student at Harvard, there was a guy who was in a group of people from northern Nigeria called the Kanuri. The Kanuri hate the Hausa. He would look at me and he would tell me, you're a Hausa. I hate you. That's the reason I can't be nice to you. I'm in America. My family's been here 400-500 years. And when my DNA came back, it's on my dad's side 50% Hausa. This man hated my guts for what my family used to be.
Huh.
I'm mad at you for what someone was in your family, even though you didn't do anything. And one day he says, "It's so silly, but I can't like you. I can't forgive you." Even though he knows it's not. If you haven't dealt with African tribalism, and so some of y'all bitching about this tether stuff, it's tribalism, coons. They're tribalistic, and it's worse than white racism. At least you could be around other people that are brown who may not fight. Tribalism, these people be looking at your hair or the shape of your eye. Oh, I gotta kill you. Your hair, your finger's shorter than mine. I don't like you. Those tribal hatreds are greater than even what we get from white folk. In fact, white folk come off cool. If you look at what the Bahutus and the Tutsis do to each other. If you look at what's going on with the Fulani, just going around burning people alive by the hundreds in churches all over Nigeria right now. And by the way, Obama said it wasn't terrorism when people get burnt up in churches for you churchgoers that don't like cussing. That voted for Obama and voted for Biden, and they gave weapons to people to kill Christians. You're going to have to answer to God, you liars, you lazy people that don't read. Literally. That's what I have to say. Africa is wonderful if you have money. African people are trying to get out of Africa, not because it's not nice, but they're not allowed to live like they want to because Africa ain't free. And actually, we're more free than they are, as crazy as that seems. So, be my guest if you want to go over there and be in the majority while it lasts. And once you recognize countries like Sierra Leone have sold half of their land to the Chinese, and the Chinese over there enslaving them, you better learn Chinese. And trust me, you won't be able to talk as much shit as you do in the corner stores here with their old grease that they fry the stuff in. Y'all need to understand, like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. America's our home, baby. And I'll tell you something. When you stand up, if we got our asses together as a people, the good folks that are willing to work with us in whichever community will work with us. We right now come across as a dying people. You know what happens when an animal is dead or dying? The vultures and the crows and the parasites and the fruit flies and all hang up. That's why we feel like we're being overwhelmed, because we're in a situation where our leadership has literally driven us to the point of group suicide. We have to decide whether we're going to live or not. Nobody, no matter how good, white, whatever, cares. They can't make us want to live or stand up or get our asses together. It's left to us to do this. And by the way, I'm going to put in the pitch. What our ancestors had that we don't like now is God. And I'll keep saying it. Without God, we don't have nothing. With God, we had Black Wall Streets. We've turned our back on the Most High, and the Most High lets everybody mess with you, include the white folks that get on your nerves. A lot of it has to do with us not having supernatural intervention on our behalf. That's all I have to say. This is Dr. Randy Short saying, with God, all things are possible. He'll make your enemies your footstools. He don't want us to hate ourselves or hate anybody else. And loving self doesn't mean you have to hate anybody. Let other people die from hatred. Let other people hate. Let us love ourselves. Let us love what we can do. Let's solve things instead of complaining about how they are.
Real talk, real talk. That's Dr. Randy Short, y'all. And yeah, take heed. Let's look past the how something's delivered and listen to the substance of the message. You have $ Dr. Randy Short to donate to him. Go around. I have one more day on my sale. Tomorrow's the last day of my sale. 20% off of everything in my shop. In my YouTube sale. YouTube kicked me off last week, a couple weeks ago, for nothing, just for talking about the Alabama ass whooping video. So I need y'all to go to YouTube. I mean, go to dwanb.com and get 20% off everything in my shop. The sale ends tomorrow. And I'm taking down those Fuck Around and Find Out t-shirts. Those are special edition. I will have those up through the remainder of the month, and then they'll be gone too. So yeah, do that. Donate to Dr. Randy Short, $ Dr. Randy Short. Hit my Cash App, $ Dewan Brown. And I'll be back with y'all tomorrow with some more stuff. For Dr. Short, again, I appreciate you. And I want y'all to always remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. If you're willing to pick up the game, it don't matter how the messenger delivers it. You didn't care about how your math teacher taught to you when they taught you 2 + 2. You didn't care about your English professor's personality when they taught you how to put together a sentence. So I don't need you over here running your goddamn mouth mad at how somebody's telling you what's going on politically, because you need to be mature enough to be about what's going on. But with that being said, I appreciate those of you who are, and I appreciate those of you who are on the way. And thank y'all again for listening. My name is Dewan. We out.